So, thank you, friends, for joining us today. Welcome to this session, book reading session, High Conflict by Conflict by Mr. Rohan Singhal. This is an amazing book, uh, and here is my copy of the book. And we are very happy to have Mr. Rohan Singhal with us today. Uh, रोहन जी का जो फॉर्मल इंट्रोडक्शन है वो ये है कि ही इज an MBA from IIM Calcutta, engineer from IIT Delhi. He's the co-founder of Rejoice LLP. He's worked in the corporate sector for 27 years, and in companies like ICICI, PNG, etc. But I think the real introduction is that he has impacted the lives of many people. And last week I was fortunate to join him for the book launch, and that's where I saw there's so many people, so many senior industry leaders who signed up, who were there at the event, and they were saying so many things in the praise of Rohanji on how he has impacted their lives. And I would like to add to that by saying that I am myself a fan of Mr. Rohan Singhal. I happened to attend one of his programs in the month of October, Power of Intent. And attending that program transformed my life in a very deep way. And since then, I have been closely following Rohanji and the work he does. I'll just like to invite Rohanji at this stage to say hello to everybody, and then I'll take this forward.
Yes, hi everyone, and it is always, as Ashish was saying, that it is always good to see everyone's video once in a while. So it would be because we are so used to conducting physical training programs. So when you see people on the other side, it looks a bit better than just watching the camera. And I think some of you might have been there. If anyone was there in the intent session, then you just mentioned in the chat. So I know we have some friends who I have met earlier. Yeah.
Yes. So friends, we had the opportunity, Mindful Living had the opportunity of hosting Rohanji in the month of last month, in the month of March. 11th of March, if I remember right, on a session on Power of Intent. Unfortunately, I could not join because I was away for a mindfulness retreat, which I was conducting in Mukteshwar. But if you participated in that session, please do mention, and it'll be good to know us. Good to know that you were part of that program. Before we move forward, is it okay if since many of you are joining us for the first time, I'll take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Ashish Kumar, and I am the founder of Mindful Living. I started Mindful Living in 2018, and in the last 2.5 years, we have conducted over 200 sessions on training the employees in the corporate sector. We have done sessions for leading organizations like Tata Group, IBM, HDFC Life, Kotak Life, Power Grid Corporation, EXL, Swiggy, CII, Times of India, etc. For Airbnb, many leading organizations. So we are actively working in the area of application of mindfulness to solve the challenges that people, the working professionals, face in their personal and professional lives. And the events that we do on Saturday are a part of the Mindful Living community, where we take up topics related to mindfulness and discuss around that. And today's topic also, the conflict is in many ways so closely related with awareness, awareness of our state of being, and when I attended this program on the from Rohanji on the power of intention, and the first time I heard him talk about state of being, मैं हक्का बक्का रह गया, बोले ये क्या बोल रहे हैं, ये state of being क्या होता है ये, and that time I heard about the state of being for the first time, and then my journey about exploring my state of being started, and there are a lot of things that transformed in my life in that journey. Today. I'm kind of taking that journey forward by discussing about conflict. Uh, Conflict is something that is not easy for me, and the way I handle this is by branding myself as a peace loving person. मेरे को लगता था कि मैं एक peace loving person होगा तो मैं conflict को avoid कर सकता हूँ, and rather than handling conflict, my strategy was to avoid conflict. So that is how I have gone through my life, and that is why when Rohanji wrote this book, I was I think the first person to buy this book, and and I'm so happy that Rohanji is here with us to talk about that. And I would like to initiate the session today by asking him a question on what prompted you, Rohanji, to write this book. This is a topic which many people are not comfortable acknowledging it, and you have gone ahead and written this solid book. So what prompted you? What was your journey? What got you started on this?
See, I'll go a little further back. That I had my life had actually 4 stages. As I look back, first 15 or first few years were hardcore middle class, inferiority complex. I couldn't speak in English, couldn't speak in public, and we were from a very meager financial background. So that was the first stage. Then came the second stage, which was chasing excellence. Like, because I was chasing it to cover up all the inferiority complex. So I attended all classes, wrote good notes, and then got through these IIT Delhi, IIM Calcutta, and and came was one of the toppers there. So that was was trying to cover the complex, but the complex still didn't get covered. The hollowness still continued. And at around 27 of my age, I met a mentor, Mr. Debu Ghosh, who really shifted the way I looked at life. And he shifted me from an orientation of wanting to win every race to making others winners. So that was a first shift which came in my life, and I started mentoring people and connecting people to their potential. And at around 47, so 27 to 47, this continued through various ways. But at 47, I came to one realization that I have this experience. Even people talk about their experience. I have 40 plus years of experience of avoiding conflicts. And so I would and I noticed that it despite having trained so many leaders across the world, I always noticed that I would still avoid conflict, being hard, harsh, confronting, or so. And I see the 2 3 let's say 2 3 roots. One, since childhood I wanted to please everyone, so that was one. And then I used to run a software company. We were 3 promoters, and so the other 2 people were quite, you can say, assertive and aggressive in their style. And I was the one who was in the pleasing mode, or the nice person. And I finally, we actually had to sell out our company because whenever I disagreed with anything, I didn't speak up. But I still did my own stuff. So then what happened effectively is we were 3 misdirected, unaligned people running the ship. And finally we had to sell the company. And when we sold the company, I really in my head blamed it on them, on their strategies. And when I, at age 47, when I started studying more about, I actually decided that enough of this avoiding conflict, trying to please people, and let me learn even about this. How do you handle hostage situations, and how do you embrace conflict and criticism? And I started studying about it. And so while studying it, I realized that I sabotaged my own company that time by not speaking up. Either I should have got out of the company and saying I don't agree with what all you are saying, or I should have stated my terms and tried to explain it to them and got them to convince. But I kept holding that chair without speaking up. So, and I have seen lots of teams really failing because people don't speak up. So that was one reason to write this book. But the second deeper reason actually came in a personal line. So I got married to Ruchi in 2011, and it's a love marriage. So I used to be really proud of the kind of connection we had. And so I was reading a book, and there was what is the quality of your marriage? So there was a survey on that. So when I filled that survey, I got a score of 39 out of 42, which was, top 1 percentile kind of thing. So I used to be proud of this. And so I was in a workshop in Delhi in June 97. And when I was returning from there to Bombay, in the flight, basically, I noticed that Ruchi had sent a message, which was kind of quite, you could make out that in those two lines itself that she's extremely upset. So I thought, while you are boarding, no point in calling, you can't sort these things like this. And so when I reached home in Bombay at around 11 in the night, घर में एकदम सन्नाटा था. वो सन्नाटा होता है ना, you can understand that while we only two of us are used to stay in the house, but sannata means the vibes were very heavy. So जैसे डरते डरते घुसते ना घर में. So when I went inside, actually, and Ruchi she was still very upset, and she said, I was planning to leave your life, this house and this marriage, and not return your calls. I really fell from sky. Where you think you are 9 on 10, यहाँ पे तो negative marking आ गई. And so my normal tendency so far has been, whenever and Ruchi has been a very assertive person. So whenever whenever there is a tiff, I would back off. I would then be silent. I would walk around eggshells. And I would then also would not put more fuel to fire. So don't do anything else. And hopefully in the silence, after a few hours or maybe few days, things will sort out. That was my policy. But by this time, when I was reading these books on conflicts, etc., one major learning I had that, whenever you are in conflict with someone who matters to you, lean in rather than running away. So what does this lean in means? So some of these books suggested that, increase bonding when you are in a conflict situation, bond with the other person. उनका अभी bond क्या करें? So then उसमें एक और hint था that, search your feelings and state those feelings authentically. So मैंने कहा अभी feeling क्या है? So अपने Google search मारा मैंने अपने head में. So when I really searched, I noticed that deep inside, I was suddenly worried, what will happen if she leaves? And, what will I tell everyone else? उससे भी ज़्यादा सबसे बड़ा feeling was that I was feeling very scared. So I actually told her this, that I don't know what I did. Maybe there are multiple things which I did, which has, added up to become this. But I see you are extremely upset, and right now, I'm feeling very scared of being left alone. And suddenly she also started crying, and she said, I'm also very afraid of leaving this relationship because I also don't know where it will go and what will I do after this. And I just didn't leave because her mom is very sensitive and connected to our marriage, and she might feel or something may happen to her out of shock. But that sharing, authentically sharing and not running away, actually changed something right at that moment. And we started talking, and what I realized is that she used to think that you are one extra positive motivator all your life, so you will still remain positive and you live your life. So it doesn't matter to you if I go, because so I realized that I never communicated that to her. And I told her that I know I will handle my life if anything happens to anyone around me, but I know what my life alone was, and I know what my life with you was, and I would any day choose this. So that shift, and we started talking various things, and we looked at various elephants in the room, and one of the big elephant was, she used to say, I'm your business partner, I take full ownership of the business like you do, but at home you don't care, you don't help. And I used to think that I was one very helping husband and etc. And so I jumped into that consulting hat, that let's list everything घर में जो भी काम होते हैं, and then we'll divide. And she said, नहीं ऐसे नहीं होता. Okay, she said this ये 50-50 नहीं होता. मैंने कहा यार now you don't want to solve it also. I am trying to solve it. So so then she said when you are alone you handle your own house 100%. And I said but now you have become with so much specification that everything therefore you have to do because you are so picky about things. But she said that no, I want you to be take 100% ownership of the house like I do. So she was wanting that 100, and that really shifted our connection to another level. And I realized that that earlier what used to happen is you do things because if you don't do this then things will go wrong, then she'll crib, and then you cover it and you handle it. And I shifted myself saying that I will do things in this house because this is my house as well, and I don't want her to be finally holding every falling ball every from the crack, and therefore be in the alert mode all her life. And so all that shifted so much in our life, and then I wrote this book. And this lockdown has been an amazing time, and our connection has really gone to a totally different level because we could talk, because we could share every single elephant in the room and diffuse it right there. So this is a long answer to your question, but that is the main genesis of the book.
That's a long but very amazing answer, Rohanji. And as I was listening to you, bare your heart and open up. One dominant thought which comes to me is, when you open up, you become very vulnerable. And many a times people choose to build boundaries around themselves and not talk because that kind of keeps us safe and keeps us protected. But when I open up, I make myself vulnerable and open to hurt. And nobody likes to, get hurt. Like you said, when people lean back rather than lean in. So would you like to talk about, vulnerability a bit and why is it worth it? Because in your book also you have quoted Dr. Bren Brown at one place, who is an expert in vulnerability and who brought this up. So could you just bring that dimension into it?
See, I won't call myself a vulnerability expert. I'm still learning on authenticity. But what I would say is that all my life, actually, in the name of avoiding conflict, I was avoiding being vulnerable. Because I was scared of people laughing at me, or even if I confront someone, I will finally be defeated. And so my learning so far has been vulnerability is just being truthful to the person who matters. So suppose if I have an issue with my wife, now me talking to my mother or someone else doesn't work. So the whole idea what I have understood is vulnerability is not just washing your dirty linen in front of everyone. It is only two places where it works, either with the person with whom you have this issue, or if you have resolved that issue, then share it in a larger forum. Like if I had not sorted out with my wife and we were on the verge of separation, etc., then I can't share it here. So that difference is important. In fact, sometime before sorting, if I used to generally share with everyone in other workshops, and that led to more elephants with my wife. That you have not sorted it still, and you are still talking about it. So what I would say is being vulnerable with respect to the subject with the concerned person is always very helpful. And it can even come to the point. I'll give you a very simple example. You are in a let's say you are in a discussion which is going on, in boring discussion. No one is speaking, everyone is hoping koi phone call aa jaye, uske bahane mein nikal lu. So even in those situations, just stating that I think I'm finding this whole thing very boring. Are you feeling like that? Because I think all of you are very deep people, but I think we are only skimming the surface and doing polite conversation. But this is what I feel. You don't push it on them that you are boring. I feel that I'm feeling very sleepy. And suddenly you'll find 3 more people saying, मेरे को भी यही हो रहा था, but मैं बोल नहीं रहा था. So what I found is vulnerability gives other people freedom to bring their vulnerability and thus bring trust in the situation. And most of us have been burned so hard by sometime being vulnerable that we just put it under 5 more shells like a bank locker.
And you mentioned about this very good example, of speaking up. And whether it is in personal relationships or professional relationships, speaking up can have different implications, or standing up or being authentic can have different implications. घर पे बोला तो बीवी से डांट पड़ेगी, ऑफिस में बोला तो बॉस से डांट पड़ेगी. सो हम बोले चलो यार शांति है, चलने दो, तनख्वाह आ रही है या फिर घर का काम चल रहा है, चलने दो. तो ये हम कॉम्प्रोमाइज क्यों कर लेते हैं? वाई are we operating out of a place of fear and liking the status quo to continue? Why are we what is the advantage of being authentic? What is at stake? If I'm compromising and living a low life versus being authentic and taking off, where does it lead one by being authentic, by standing up and speaking up?
See, I think one okay. So think of that all of us are like deep inside at our energy level, we are a ball of light. Okay. So this ball of light expands and shrinks always. Okay. So it expands when you are really yourself. You are in the flow. You are in the zone. And I know everyone in this group would have been in the zone at different point of time. And us time, whatever you say, whatever you do is actually close to magic. Okay. So I would say that is a time you are in your best personal power because your energy tank is full and you are radiating like a star. Now you can punch holes in this tank by inauthenticity. Everything you do inauthentic, that you gave a promise you did not do, you will punch a hole. You thought of something but you said something else. You disagree in the situation but you just nodded or you didn't say anything, which was also agreement, silence in that way. Every time you kept quiet, did anything against your value, you will punch a hole in your personal power and slowly it will drain. And the day when the personal power is highly drained, you won't feel like doing anything. And any one of you who's in sales, I can tell you from my experience, is when the personal power is low, you actually hope that ये जो phone में लगा रहा हूँ ना ये लगे ही नहीं, because I know I'm going to screw up that call, because I don't have that power in me to convince the other person to buy my product, services, or whatever I am offering. So all of us know that in a strong conversation where I need power, right now I don't have. So and we always wish to be in this sun kind of a power. Then the only way is to find out and plug the holes rather than. And what happens is if we are not able to plug the hole, we start draining other people power, which is worse. So coming back to when you are authentic, you are true to who you are and your thoughts, this light expands. And this expanded light will allow you to perform better in any relationship, at office as well as at home. And in fact, I also want all of you in the group to think, who are the people you really admire? So you won't be admiring people who are shouting. There are some people in all of our groups, when they say, everyone sits quietly and listen. And they are not the senior most or the richer most people in the world or in that group. So that would be my current answer.
That's very interesting, Rohanji. The personal energy and how it empowers us to perform better, whether it is at work or have deeper, more richer relationships, is an aspect which is not obvious or we are not conscious of most of the times. And in your book, you have mentioned about many places or many reasons why people tend to be not authentic. So at this stage, could I request you to read us a couple of pages from the book on why people miss out on being authentic and what is it that people can do to be authentic? And I'll also request the audience to keep your video on so that we can see you and see your reactions and engage
So
with the people.
which page?
So 76 to some 78, 79 barriers to authenticity.
Okay. So what would you like? Okay. So let me. Let me just read one part, which is balancing softness and over empathy with assertiveness. So this is basically more with people who are soft, and how can they balance. So let me just read it, which is people who have a tendency to be nice and a high need to please and seek approval from others find it very difficult to express themselves authentically and assertively in a situation. So I have been in that state for a long period. It hurts. You feel sick of this tendency of yours and continue doing it as you see no other way. You don't want to be aggressive like others. You don't like some people at your work or family who aggressively get away with what they need. These over empathetic people put others' needs over theirs and take on the doormat giver behavior choice. So this behavior also irritates others. They wonder why you did not speak up if you had an alternate view. Why are you telling it now when it is too late? So I learned that we have natural instinct and learned instinct. So an example of natural instinct may be feeling disgusted by a foul smell, but pleasing others is a learned instinct, and we need not be a slave of that programming. We can tune or change that program to be a better and effective version, which is growing others. So shifting from pleasing others to growing others. So here is an affirmation you need to remember. My needs are as important as your needs. So since I have been in this sport, I know how it feels. While being nice, we feel we are doing a great favor to the other person, accepting the other person's tantrums. So in one of the podcasts by Esther Perel, a psychotherapist and expert on relationships, I heard a line that has stayed with me. So this is a very special line. Okay, I'm reading now. Kindness displayed to a person taking me for a ride. So someone is taking me for a ride in a relationship, and I'm being kind. So someone taking me for a ride, bluffing or pushing me beyond limits, leads to the same person disrespecting me, while I thought kindness was a very noble attitude to adopt. So I got hit hard by this, that by me being soft, the other person will respect me, but the person who was taking me for a ride actually started disrespecting. So this even happens between husband and wife, whichever side. So this was an eye opener. I thought I was being noble, holier than thou, while the same person whose behavior I tolerated disrespected me for my over agreeableness. So what I learned from Bob Anderson of the Leadership Circle is when people have high need for pleasing, they are operating from the heart mode. Their self-worth is governed by their need to be in good books of people, to please them, to comply and to seek their approval. This spoils their relationship with authority. It also makes them a poor boss. They are unable to advocate assertively when needed, and they give away too much of their power by prioritizing their need to please others. They take safe and acceptable decisions instead of what is best for the team. And they tend to take the doormat giver stance by giving lower priority to expressing their needs and feelings in a conflict. So I think एक पैरा और है. An important change needed in such people's narrative is the way they look at arguments, anger, criticism, negative feedback, and contrary opinion. All these activities are difficult for soft, nice, positive people, but all these are essentials to be handled gracefully instead of avoiding them. Avoiding these activities will lead you to become an ineffective, mild, meek person who can't truly lead. So uske aage there are some suggested narratives. Obviously this would be a longer part, but yeah, so that is
That's very interesting. Uh, say, this affirmation that my needs are as important as your needs is
Yes.
very simple but very powerful. Sometimes we operate in a win-lose or lose-win mindset. And या तो हम दूसरे को ज्यादा importance देते हैं या अपने को ज्यादा importance देते हैं. But this one says that, my needs are as important as yours. So it's a win-win kind of frame. And, sometimes we think that in our desire to be pleasing, we become kind, but that also may lead us to become ineffective leaders. So I think it's very important for us to be aware and, to take charge of ourselves and people. So, Rohit, I think at this stage, while we have a detailed Q&A towards the end of this session, maybe we could open up for one or two quick comments or questions from the audience. So anyone who would like to share any thoughts or have any questions regarding what we have discussed so far, we'll be happy to hear from you. You could type your comment on the in the chat box, or you could also even use the emoji and to say whether you're liking it, something is clicking with you, is there any moment for you. So feel free to just communicate.
Or you can even raise your hand and then we can unmute you.
Yes. Yeah. You can speak, chat, emojis, unmute, anything works. Thanks, Chetan.
So if anyone wants to ask anything.
This is Chetan. Can I ask? Go ahead.
Yeah, Chetan.
Yeah. So my question was
can you spotlight Chetan?
Okay, I'm probably off the video. Sorry for that.
Acha, okay.
Sir? Yeah, Rohan sir, this is very nice, and I was invited by Ashmita, and I wanted to ask you that if you have a colleague who is very dominating, and the manager is telling you that it's okay, just give up, and it's not going to come to the logical conclusion anyway. He's been facing this problem for long, but for some reason it has been ignored. Do you suggest that I should use mindfulness?
Just one moment. Can you repeat the question? I think I was in the
no problem, Rohanji, no problem. Very nice of you. So if you have a colleague who is very aggressive and sometimes go against the normal thinking, and the manager would tell you offline that okay, you don't need to go against him because that is the way he is. Just ignore it. Which might go against what you said so far. How do you handle this situation?
So, see, in fact, this one thing I have started realizing is that every single person who comes in our life is never an accident. It is always a purpose, and the difficult people are actually advanced teachers. So if you have this person in your life, and especially your colleague, which means you don't have an authority over him. If you are a boss, then you would have done different things.
True.
So idea is that can you handle such person with inner power and poise to get this person in your team? And deep. So what happens is, if the person is very aggressive, there are a lot of reasons. Maybe the aggression is a cover up of something, and it's a shield. Most of the time, aggression is a shield over some other complex. And because पहले बहुत सारे बार the person has been damaged, तो बाहर तलवार लेके घूमता है. So basically, therefore you have to slowly get him to realize that I'm in your team and I wish your success. So that is not easy, but with some conversations, finding that I want to know more about you, I want to understand what matters to you, and but everything has to be genuine. So some genuine acknowledgement of, I found this extremely good in your quality, can I learn from you, etc. And in that whole process, finally also what we were talking about, this intention that your vibes get transmitted before even you speak. So if your vibes is na, isko baat karke baad mein na, whatever काट डालेंगे, so then that will get transmitted. So,
got it.
So first fundamentally is shifting your intention that this person is a teacher in my life, so I can't wish him away.
Yes.
So that is the first thing. So
Very
वो
nice.
get well soon बोलते थे ना मुन्ना भाई में. So we
True,
figured
true.
out, sending a heart and three infinity signs, which mean infinite love to that person.
Yes.
So once you say that, then your mind would be more centered
Mhm.
to figure out what is going on.
Sure.
So,
Super. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir.
रोहन जी वो करा दीजिए ना exercise. I think that will help a lot of people.
so so that exercise is basically, I want everyone in the room to, whether your video is on or not, to think of one most difficult person in your life, okay, and then bring your hands as if they're coming from the sky, okay, and coming from the
Everybody
sky.
do it together.
Yeah, do it together. So hands as if light coming from the sky, and then make a big heart as big as you can. Heart by the hand. Make a big heart, and then join the hands, and then make infinity signs 3 times. Bigger and bigger infinity signs. And 3 times, bring it close to your heart, and then send it to that person. So this actually is a very odd thing, but what you've done is you actually send infinite love to that person. And when you physically do this, it does something in your cells. And actually it centers you. And I use it very, very often, that when I go down for a walk and you see someone and you immediately be very judgmental. Either ये अपने आप को बहुत शो ऑफ है, ये अपने आप को बहुत समझता है, इसने मुझे हाय भी नहीं बोला, वो पता नहीं कहाँ किसी और रास्ते जा रहा था, कुछ और सोच रहा था. So anytime, what I have now decided, anytime I feel judgmental to anyone, अब वहां इतना बड़ा बड़ा हाथ तो नहीं घुमा सकते, so I use 2 fingers, make a heart and then 3 eights and then send it. So this I can do while sitting in a meeting below the table also. Online तो you can on anyway do. But I want each one of you to try this. And इसके साथ में we actually say Mayurma, which is sending good wishes. So I've learned this from Nitya Shanti. And so when you are in a conflict with someone, first the person is a teacher, and second that you are going to, and that person is a gift, and that behavior is a gift. I'm going to unwrap the Amazon package and get my gift from inside, rather than avoiding that whole package and not opening the door. So that is all. Yeah.
So that's a very interesting comment you just made, Rohanji, and there are a lot of very good comments we have got, and some questions also we have seen, and we will take up those questions later. But at this point, I would like to pick up your thoughts on, you said difficult person is a gift. And if I take that logic further, is a conflict in our life also a gift? Should we treat this as a gift which is to be unpacked, rather than conflict something which is to be brushed under the carpet or avoided, or what? How do we accept it wholeheartedly, and
I will actually, as you're saying, I realize that, 40 years, okay, 40 years, every time a conflict came, I didn't open the gift, okay, I had put it under the carpet. So actually my carpet became full of those unhandled conflicts, and these unhandled conflicts actually become elephant in the room. So elephant in the room means, it's a phrase which is used that, everyone knows that this has to be handled, but no one wants to talk about it. This happens in large families, also in teams. And so avoiding conflict as a gift, rubbing them under the carpet, means you have these huge elephants on your head, and that will also deplete your personal power. It's actually, your shoulders will start shrinking. So that is one side. And versus every time there's a conflict, you claim that gift and move on. In fact, practically every alternate days, I would have a conflict with Ruchi. But वो छोटा सा conflict होता है, we'll talk about it, we'll move on, and it is gone. So I always tell people कि हमारे घर में ना बहुत जगह है, because there are no elephants in the room. And you can feel it, you go to any place, you go to any group, you can feel the vibrations, इसको वो मत बताना, यहाँ वो मत कहना, ये बुरा मान जाएगा, ऐसा. And so all that is absent in our relationship now.
Excellent. There is such a positive comments we are getting on the chat, and we are enjoying the discussion so much, Rohanji. We would like this to continue, but I understand we are also kind of running out of the time to and coming towards the close of the session. But so there's one question I would like to ask before we kind of move on. What is at the root of the conflict? Is it fear or emotion of an anger, or what is at the root cause of the why do conflicts arise, and what is it that people can do to handle the root cause rather than trying to fix people? You know, most of the times we run around fixing people कि उसकी वजह से problem हो रही है, but it may be the problem may actually be somewhere else.
See, my learning so far has been that when everything is going fine, then anyway there's no scope for a conflict. So conflict happens when something goes wrong. Someone did deliver something, then someone shouted at the other person, someone insulted someone, and some unmet expectation. So conflict will only happen when some unmet expectation happens. But after that, how do you handle it? Did you handle it in the I sad way where you ran away from the situation, or you handled in the I mad way because where you exploded on the other person, which also depends on what equation you are in. So a boss can explode while a spouse can explode depending on what kind of connection it is, but then the elephant remains. And what is important, instead of creating these, we call it amygdala hijack, which is your primitive brain actually feels fear of death and therefore takes over. So fear of death these days, you are not getting your head is not being chopped, etc., but your fear of losing your reputation, losing your job, losing a relationship, or fear of being ridiculed, those are equated to death, and therefore we avoid the conflict in that sense. And instead of that, in fact, we have came out with the wonderful framework called EAR, which is empathy, authenticity, and respect. So you handle any conflict with all three together, and then it works. That means on pillar of respect. So whoever you have a conflict with, do not erase the respect you have for that person, because उस time कुछ respect नहीं आती जब खुंदकारी होती है. So you have to step out and say, what do I respect this person for? What do I admire? Why does the relationship matter? If the relationship doesn't matter, then you don't need to do any authentic dialogue. So respect, and then empathy, getting into other person's shoes, and then authenticity means authentically sharing, not shouting or avoiding, sharing your anger or sharing your anxiety. And if we get time, I'll maybe talk about one case of relationship with a teenager. So we'll talk about that.
Yes. So it's very powerful what you have shared with us, and I think this framework of EAR is also very powerful. But it's difficult for us to cover everything in this 1 hour session. So what I would like to share with our audience today is that there is a very special offer. And in case you would like to buy the book and read about it, I have my copy with me, which I'm enjoying reading. The book is available. Normally, if you go on Amazon and buy, it's available for $12.99. But there is a special offer which Rohanji has kindly consented to share with us for today with the community. And you could buy it for $1099, and which includes the Power of Intent video pack, which itself is worth 990 rupees. And this is the one which I was earlier referring to, which I attended. This is a program I underwent with Rohanji and completely transformed my life. So this book and this video pack is a powerhouse. And I would strongly urge you to make this investment. I would not say it is an expense. It is an investment into increasing your energy levels, increasing your happiness, increasing your productivity, and making your life plus. Everything in your life will be plus. So we have shared the link in the chat. Please feel free to take this, and in case you would like to connect with Rohanji, his website address is also mentioned, and that website is also a rich resource for all the work that Rohanji does. So please feel free to connect with that. And just one more thing before we move on. In case you would like to stay in touch with us, you can take a screenshot of this, and these are our coordinates where you can stay in touch. And before we open up for question and answers, we are sharing the feedback form here with you. Please share your feedback with us. It takes less than 1 minute, but your feedback is very valuable for us. There are some quick questions that you can answer. So we are putting up the feedback form in the chat box. So please.
There's another point which I think Sanjay has already asked, that anyone who has already bought Power of Intent, you can actually gift this Power of Intent access to someone else. So like Sanjay, I know he's taken that Power of Intent wala. So you can ask that, and here the access is for a month for Power of Intent. So it is, there's no that is the only option. Yeah. Thank you, Sanjay, for asking. And and we've not played the video.
Oh yeah. So yes. Can we just have the video of the book? It's an amazing book and some amazing testimonials. Can we have the voice? We are not hearing it.
I think voice nahi aayi.
Opinions. Often, small conflicts
We'll
with
start from
become big elephants in the room until giving a step-by-step method to resolve.
Yeah, we can hear it.
But where is the video now?
I just started from the beginning. I thought people are not able to hear it. Let me just share it again.
Okay.
Can make it full screen.
Have you ever felt weighed down because of conflicts with your friends or colleagues? A feeling of being pushed over or being over-assertive in your opinions? Often, small conflicts within our relationships become big elephants in the room until the relationships themselves break down. Rohan Singhal's book, High Conflict by Conflict, addresses this, giving a step-by-step method to resolve conflicts, thereby lending authenticity and freedom in relationships. Whether personal or professional, this book will help you resolve your relationship woes. Rohan Singhal is an experienced leadership coach and has helped many corporate teams pivot conflict into highly productive collaboration.
I've known Rohan Singhal for a long time. The way he follows the principles of authenticity and himself, and his ability to be able to draw the best out of leaders to develop their companies or develop themselves. The way he's been, helping us handle conflict is very different and is very unique.
Okay, so I've known Rohan for many years now, both personally and professionally, and I think especially over the last 10 years or so, as a result of the workshops and his ideas around collaboration, around unlocking your own potential. So right from the first workshop, which was a small group, and it helped me unlock a lot of personal potential. And the great thing about Rohan's workshops and Rohan's frameworks are they're very intuitive, they're very logical.
Rohan has done a great job of creating a framework which will help in understanding conflict and resolving it, a clear methodology, a template. And he's also interviewed more than 21 senior leaders across corporate. And these leaders obviously have shared their experiences of conflict, and that links back to this framework in a very nice way. It's not just talking the talk, it's walking the talk.
Order your copy of the book, High Conflict by Conflict now.
So that's the video, and you see the strong testimonials that have come in from Mr. Tarun Chugh, who is the MD and CEO of Bajaj Allianz, and Mr. Anantam, and many other senior industry leaders. So please, copy the URL which is being shared, and make this investment and will benefit both in your personal life, increasing happiness, and in your professional life, increasing your energy and productivity. Sometimes, like Rohanji was mentioning, uh, those who are in sales, they don't realize how important energy is in closing. And once the energy levels go up, everything in your life changes. Basically, everything is energy. So make this investment. Also, we have shared the feedback form in the chat box. Please, once you have filled out the feedback form, type FD so that we know you have done the feedback form, and then we can open up the session for the question and answers.
Yeah. So we are open for questions while you are filling the feedback form.
Yes. So I'll read out some of the questions that have come to us, Rohanji.
Yes.
Questions and comments. So Shivashi says, it was really great to learn how you have handled conflict and resolved. Ruchi agrees. Umut says, session is very good. Poonam has got a question. If your partner always goes into silence zone in case of any conflict, what do you suggest?
And see, in fact, this is a very common. I can tell you from my own experience that while Ruchi can be very assertive, whenever we had these confrontations, and I'll ask her something and she will go in total silence, or sometimes she'll say, don't put your EAR or your book concepts on me. And so I used to, post, once the conflict was over, then I used to ask that, if I don't try to solve it, then you say you don't care. If I say I want to solve it, then you don't answer. So what does that mean? I really care for this connection and I want to sort this out. So she said, if you keep repeating the same question, then I get bored. But mainly what she said, that I get into silence because I'm processing it from inside. Also, I know that in this anger, when I speak out and explode, then I would not be able to withdraw my sentences, and it may scar our connection. So therefore, when a person is silent, it is either that person is fed up with you not listening, therefore has now stopped saying anything. But so I said, there has to be a way, and then she only gave me that answer. She said, okay, if I am not listening, then you can send me a WhatsApp. You can give me a paper written note. And I have found that it really works. So once or twice, when I noticed that it is going into that zone, when I wrote all my feelings, whatever my authentic sharing, what I understood, and I wrote it there. And it actually worked because when she was reading it, the moment you are reading something written, you anyway step out from the situation, and it helps. And I'll share about this teenager story if we get time. Yeah.
Yes, please. I think that will be very relevant, Rohanji. So please go on. And I really like your sharing about this writing, because that will help a lot of people with partners or people who are in silence, not communicating.
Yeah, and it is, silence itself is a big communication. The person being in silence. So we were in this session, and this lady shared about that she has a daughter who's 19-year-old, and in few months she's going to go abroad, and basically the daughter has got fed up with the mom so much that she doesn't want to talk to her. So now in this lockdown, they have only transactional connection. Khana kha liya ka, khana rakh diya table pe, saath mein baith ke khana bhi nahi hai waisa. Because so as we were talking, when we came to the respect part, so this mom was in the session. When we came to the respect part, then she came that, my daughter is talented in this and this, and obviously she's my only daughter, which is important. Empathy means, again, I actually got her to say, what is she going through? So empathy is getting into the other person's shoes. So मैं अपने जूते पहने दूसरे के जूते में नहीं जा सकता. मेरा 9 नंबर का जूता है, उसके लिए 15 नंबर का जूता चाहिए सामने वाला. If I want to put, so I have to remove my shoes to get into other person's shoes, which means I have to suspend my judgment and really understand what she was going through. So we realized that, okay, she's already getting overweight. So because she is worried about her look. ऊपर से मम्मी nag कर करके और परेशान कर रही है, ये क्यों खा रही है, वो क्यों खा रही है. Plus there might be issues with some boyfriend or something. So she listed a lot of things and her goals and concerns. So empathy was listing goal, concern, fear of that person and what she wants from you. But the best part came with authenticity, where finally she said, I realize that I have only 3 months left with her. After that, she'll go for education, then further education, most likely will find a boy somewhere and connect. And then after that, she's not going to come and stay with me for 3 months in a row. So this is my last chance to build my connection, and stating authentically that have I been a poor mom, that I kept focusing on my other relationships and business, etc., and ignored my daughter. Now she doesn't want to talk to me. So usne pura authentic dialogue bana liya, and then when she approached her daughter, she said, I don't care what session you have attended, I'm not going to listen to it. And so she came back again and said, what do? I said, okay, you figure out, maybe write a mail to her with all of this. Kabhi na kabhi to padegi na. And 2 months later, she came back saying that my daughter says, Mom, you are my rock. ऐसा वसूल हुआ ना वो session, just that line. And I have noticed that happening with many parents, that they keep correcting their children कि focus तो करो, कुछ choose तो करो, but what they are not saying or not sharing authentically, that they are afraid that they have been a bad parent. They are afraid that whether my son or my daughter would be financially independent if I disappear from this earth, and did I do a bad job? So sharing that will bring, and the child has a different issue, that how would I let down my parents? Both of them are so educated, so successful. Now I don't feel like becoming an engineer or a doctor, but I am pushed in that direction and all that. So it is, ये बोलते हैं ना, everyone, सब लोग authenticity के भूखे हैं. We are all starved of authenticity, and therefore we keep covering it with different conflicts and avoidance and anger and criticism, etc. So once you give the core food to the soul, then a lot of other needs get aside. Yeah. So आगे चलते हैं. Any other question?
That's a very powerful sharing, Rohanji. Going back to the previous one where the partner is in silence, it could be another situation where the partner just says that everything is fine, but does the same thing work, of getting to right, or is there some other thing you would like to say?
What I found is, when the person is saying everything is fine, we don't need to talk about it, I really feel that the elephant is not resolved. That person the elephant is not resolved, and it will show up in a bigger mode later. And so I would say that find various ways to connect with the partner, and find out what is worrying her or him. So basically do some exercises together. In fact, these days I have started advising people, because I started practicing, is that you play some board games, and all these Ludo, etc., have become boring, so you get new board games. And that's what also I learned from Nitya Shanti. And I was trying to, with my mom-in-law, I was trying to do some, useful board games, team working type. So Nitya Shanti said, don't worry, just pick any board game and you'll be surprised what happened. And last 2 months in the lockdown, we had to move my mother-in-law with us because she was unwell, and we want to take care of her. Every day, 1.5 hours we play with me, Ruchi, and her, and we are seeing a different side of all of us. So I'm just saying that even in these cases, find ways, be at it. And when the person is saying nahi aur kuch baat nahi karni hai, it is that the indirect communication is वैसे भी कोई फायदा नहीं होना बात करके, इसलिए नहीं करनी. So and stating authentically that every time you say this की बात नहीं करनी है, I feel कि कुछ रह गया. So don't blame that you are not sharing. I feel कुछ अधूरा रह गया है. So this is what I was going through. So this EAR, my experience is EAR, I've seen it working in every situation to clear the bridge. So make a bridge and then clear it so that other traffic or exchange of emotions can be done. Yeah. So और देखें और क्या सवाल है?
So we realize that we have come to the end of the session in terms of time, but there is so much of interest. We are happy to extend it. Rohanji, is it okay if we take another 5-10 minutes and take?
Yeah, I think we can do 10 minutes. We can do.
Yeah. So I think there is a question. Pratibha, you would like to ask a question? You can please unmute.
Hi Ashish, hi sir. Like the session was very nice. It's very nice. So I have a so I am again so me and my husband's relationship is
Where are you? Can you switch on your video by chance, Pratibha? Is it if it is?
Yeah. I will try.
If you can, it is okay. Otherwise,
so my situation is my situation is like I am having like most of the time conflicts with my husband, and then when like last year I tried to figure out like what is the reason. So somewhere he was like since marriage I'm more involved with my parents and my family, and I'm not like I have not accepted their family or not listening to them. So now it's like he has told me like I'm not supposed to speak to my parents, not go to their house, even though I stay in Bangalore and they are also in Bangalore. So a lot of restrictions. And then top of that, my in-laws or somebody from their house keeps coming in. And when they come in, it's like it becomes more stressful situation, and the conflicts and all becomes more. So I am like, one thing is like I have been avoiding like conversations, because always he goes in silent mode, and then sometimes once in a month he'll blast with all the emotions. So I am a kind of person who will speak out if I'm angry, but he will keep it and for 1 month or 2 months, and then once in a while it will come out, and then it will be that time moment it will be very difficult. So so how do we manage this? Like I am just stressed out with this, and there's no way, and we have to stay together, and we have a kid also. So but this is how it is happening. So any advice or what should I do? Like,
so I think the first thing, I really acknowledge you to have come and asked this question and even switched on your camera. Okay, so thank you very much for that. What I would want you to imagine, 2 pressure cookers. Okay, one pressure cooker, the safety valve is blocked and the CT is also blocked, and other pressure cooker has the CT. So you are the other one. Whenever there is a pressure, you will whistle it out, while your husband will explode the cooker once in 2 months. So that is, and I know what it feels. And I would only say is, first, as I was answering earlier also, that first realize that this situation is a very critical and important situation which has come in your life to master. Every master was once a disaster, and your mess becomes your message. So remember these 2 things. So therefore, you in this lifetime have written a story to learn about relationships and turn them around. So therefore, you have to be sent a real lesson. You couldn't have been sent a fake lesson. So the real lesson is, someone, if it was just a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, you would have walked out. But since it's now a marriage, and in India you can't walk out very easily till you clear your lessons. I have noticed that people actually get separated and then create same jhagda in their new relationships. So which means that elephant has not left them. So we don't know what karma you have, how long you are supposed to be together, forever or whatever. But also remember that I've had a very close friend whose wife had a severe migraine for 20 years, and the source of that migraine came from her mom, dad fighting, who were both very educated, fighting, and then telling her that हम तेरी वजह से अलग नहीं हुए, कब के अलग हो जाते नहीं तो. Okay, so she used to push her head like this and then fall unconscious, and सब झगड़ा बंद करके उसको हॉस्पिटल लेके भागना पड़ता. And she continued. मैंने कहा अब तो सब खत्म हो गया ना, अब तो तेरी शादी हो गई, 10 साल से you are here. Why are you're that kid running your life? You as an 8-year-old. So I'm just saying, so now look back at this whole picture, that you continuing together because of your kid. You are sending those vibes to the kid also. then kid will unnecessarily become responsible for your fights or whatever is going on. So there are multiple lessons you have written. So my fundamental thing I would say is you do this EAR exercise, empathy, authenticity, and respect, which is, what do I respect my husband for? There would be few things you like about him. Empathy means what does he really want in all this situation? There would be some sarcasm you'll initially come with. He only wants to do his own stuff, etc. But what does a normal person really want in a relationship? And why would someone want to stop you from dealing with your parents? Why would someone want to really disconnect you from roots? तुम्हारी यहाँ चटनी बनाने की थोड़ी लाए हैं. See, why would you want someone who is an equal size wheel in the car, उसको आप छोटा बन के उसकी हवा थोड़ी निकाल दोगे? Because अगर उसको छोटा बना के हवा निकाली तो वो एक छोटा व्हील और एक बड़ा व्हील लगाओ किसी खिलौने में, so it will only go in circles. Have you noticed that? कभी बचपन में खेला एक छोटा व्हील और एक बड़ा व्हील, तो सीधा जा ही नहीं सकता. So you want to progress your marriage forward. Both of you have to treat each other equally. So you have to stop treating yourself as small or big, whatever you are trying to do. And also another important thing is, in this whole process, you might have stopped expressing yourself.
Yes, I have stopped.
In terms
Because
of,
I feel whenever I express, it becomes like more like when I answer, he will answer. So I feel like stop it. Like, so I keep quiet. I try to keep quiet. Right now, at least.
And basically, authentically sharing, I would say, read this book. There are other books, and take this as that this can be solved, and I'm going to solve. In fact, I have this line written here: if it matters to you, you will find a way. This is by Charlie Gilkey. So if it matters to you, so now you have to decide what matters to me. One, it can be I can complain all my life, think I'm one bichari, and I've got stuck in this situation. That is one choice you have, and you know where it will go. And other choice is, I'm the princess and goddess of my life who has written this story, and I'm going to find the magic out of it. So I'm going to solve it one way or the other. I'm not saying you have to compromise and somehow make it work. But what I'm saying is, when both of you come to an authentic level, you will know what needs to be done further. अभी तो प्यार व्यार तो बिल्कुल गायब हो गया होगा. अब यहाँ तो सब मैनिपुलेशन, फोर्स और वो सब चल रहा है. And but it is, I'm telling you, it can be the biggest gift or lesson you have written in your life. Not सबक नहीं है कि इसको सबक सिखाऊं, मतलब मेरे को कोई सबक सिखा रहा है. It is a most profound lesson of your life to figure out with someone who you are now locked in, to figure out being authentic and bringing back your light without suppressing the other person's light. I know I have not given you a specific answer, because this answer will come from your central belief in yourself. So you have to stop saying कि मेरा luck खराब था, ये था, वो था. Every complaint, crib and blame is you have to stop first, because that will take away your personal power. So suppose if suppose I have an issue with my wife, I have to say to her. Saying it to anyone else, unless you are asking like here to get some guidance, etc. Saying it to anyone else will never work. किसी भी और को बता कुछ होता ही नहीं, जिससे है उससे इशू करना हैंडल. So I think अभी short में यही answer हो सकता है, but it's I can understand what situation you are talking about. I have been through a divorce in 1996, and I know what it means, and I decided never to marry again. And then I found someone who I could be free as well as together with. So that was Ruchi. So there are, and so that mess has turned into this message of high conflict by conflict. In another way, you can say that. So you never know where life goes. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, thank you.
It's a very powerful and very personal sharing, Rohanji. And there is just one question, last question, I guess, from Madhu. And Madhu, would you like to, and then we will close the session. And so Madhu, would you like to unmute and ask a question? We can't hear you. Okay. So she has typed her question. Madhu has got a 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah, मधु का शायद कैमरा नहीं है, वो नहीं है. I think
there's some issue with her. She's not able to speak. Her question is, I would like to know how to gel with 12-year-old daughter and also help her get into studies.
See, one, while you know, we don't have kids, but we work with a lot of parents who have kids, and it probably becomes easier in that sense. You are dispassionate about it, but what I can tell you is 2-3 things. I have been an extremely studious student, going to all classes, 100% attendance, blue-eyed boy of my teachers and my mom and parents, and I'm telling you, कुछ फायदा नहीं. मतलब I'm telling you, बिल्कुल naughtiness नहीं करी. You know, now I feel इतना serious क्यों होना था, and कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ा. And you know, there are guys who in my engineering batch, my classmates who are heading, you know, worldwide companies, and I noticed that they were a lot more balanced. They were not, you know, talking about only studies. They did a lot of things. So what I found, what I would say is, first is you stop judging yourself. In the first thing that, Madhu, I can tell you, you have been a perfect mom. Maybe people might not have said it to you, but take it from me. And you've been a perfect mom. You've given your best to her based on whatever was available to you, based on whatever you've heard and understood. So first is stop judging yourself, and her not doing well in her studies is not a reflection on your quality of motherhood. So that is the first thing you have to come from. And from there, and you know, pouring a lot of love to her and not just mollycoddling her. So, you know, just in fact, I would say typically for a 12-year-old daughter, one exercise you may want to do is what I call list 3 things which she's really good at, or three incidents where you found her at her best. Okay, so you'll always know, you know, not just she came first here, but with respect to you, and then state that, you know, I love you to her one-on-one. You say that I love you for this and this, and irrespective of what you become in your life, irrespective of whether you marry as per my wish or not marry, my love will remain with you. It was there since you were conceived till my last date. But that doesn't mean कि मैं कल तेरे को एक नया iPhone दिला दूंगी. You understand that? So my love is unconditional to what you are doing. So free her from this pressure of choosing studies or choosing subjects. And once, because out of fear, anyway, no one can perform. So first you stop the judgment, then free her from fear, and then share that I am more concerned because, and I don't know your background, I don't know whether you were very studious or not, why you want her to be more studious, because you might have felt that, you know, ज़्यादा पढ़ने से अच्छा रहता है, and you know, there are better choices she will get, etc. So there are a whole lot of things, so you have to share those things with her without giving advice. The biggest issue is that, you know, by 12, I am fed up of my mom giving me advice. So आप advice देने की जगह as a friend just share की, and still there are boundaries you have to draw, because in fact बोलते हैं कि till 7 people copy you, so you want them to follow a behavior, you have to demonstrate that behavior. 7 to 14, you know, you have to give them choices within limits. 14 के बाद you give them projects and ask in their logic that how will it work, how will it not work, and let them figure it out. So abhi wo 12 wali is in within limits and yet giving some choices. This is my my understanding so far. Thank you, Madhuji.
Thank you, Rohanji. That's such a powerful sharing, and I'm sure that will help a lot of moms, you know, and a lot of parents deal with the challenges, you know, and understanding their children, you know, and then you know, giving them unconditional love and having them grow as complete and balanced human beings rather than just going one way of steady. So
एक चीज I want to say, Ashish, as you were saying, is that, you know, all of us have this opportunity to gift authenticity to some 2-3 people around us. You know, maybe one close colleague or some close family members. Just if we can be ourselves with each other in this lockdown, you know, we can handle anything. अभी आधा वो होता है कि यू नो मेरा ऑफिस में हालत खराब है लेकिन घर में किसी को नहीं बता रहा, यू नो, बट आई एम गेटिंग इरिटेटेड बिकॉज दिस इज गोइंग ऑन. यहाँ पे पीछे से कोई आके चला गया, किसी ने दरवाजा खोल लिया. नॉट एवरीवन हैज अ प्राइवेट ट्रांसमिशन रूम इन देयर होम. 2 बच्चे हैं और सबके पास 4 BHK थोड़ी रखा है. सो बेसिकली आई एम जस्ट सेइंग, इन दिस लॉकडाउन दिस इज द बेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी to hear each other authentically and share your concerns authentically. I am worried about this. This is what bothering me, and open with that open heart, and you'll actually find things in love. So that is all.
Yeah, that's such a powerful message, Rohanji, and I think that caps everything, you know. And I think the last words were spoken to me, and that's a big takeaway from me. I'm taking that for myself. And I urge everybody to take advantage of the offer and buy this and begin your journey. And I can assure you, it will be a journey you would enjoy. You know, and I was having a discussion with Rohanji yesterday, and I was can we just let somebody click a picture or print?
ठीक है, तो recording में आ जाएगी.
Yeah, okay. So I was just discussing with Rohanji yesterday about my experience of the meditation retreat I had done a couple of weeks back, and you know, I was doing that with a yoga teacher, and she was saying that, you know, life, our body can get infinitely better, and I was finding it difficult to relate and grasp, but with relationships and with many other things in life, it can get infinitely better. You know, most of the times we think in terms of incremental, कि जो है उससे थोड़ा अच्छा हो जाए, but infinitely अच्छा हो जाए ये हम नहीं सोचते. बट ये रास्ते पे आप चलेंगे तो आपकी जिंदगी इनफाइनाइटली बेटर हो जाएगी. बट यू हैव टू टेक द फर्स्ट स्टेप, यू नो, एंड द फर्स्ट स्टेप इज टू पिक अप this book and read it, you know, and follow it. Follow the power of intent pack, follow this book, follow empathy, develop empathy, respect, you know, try and become authentic, and you know, maybe we will invite you for as a speaker in one of our coming sessions. And let me assure you that this is the beginning. You know, there is so much more that Rohanji is going to do on conflict. So there is a sequel, there is a second book, a third book. So there is lot that is there. This is just the starting. And you know, on this Saturday evening, I wish every one of you to stay safe, stay inside, stay positive, stay calm, and have a very nice weekend. I am very grateful to each one of you for joining us, for submitting your feedback, for submitting your comments. I have been seeing each one of them. I have not been able to comment to each one of you, but we are seeing them submitting your questions and participating actively. Thank you very, very much. Have a nice evening. Thank you, Rohanji. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.